Welcome back to Get Your House in Order, the show where we explore bold ideas, human connection, and what it really means to live a life that aligns with your values. Today's guest is someone that, first of all, is a friend, but has also built a big business grounded in trust, transparency, authenticity, and those values really align with who we are. Sharon Vinderine is a founder and CEO of Parent Tested, Parent Approved, PTPA, one of the most respected seals of approval in the consumer world. What started as a solution to her own situation and her own frustration as a new parent has now become a trusted guide for millions of families across North America. Sharon has become a powerful voice in redefining how brands engage with consumers and how parents make decisions in a noisy, often misleading marketplace. So if you've ever tried to cut through the clutter as a parent, entrepreneur, or human being, this conversation is for you. Sharon, welcome. Let's get started.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited for our chat today, which I am sure we are going to try and stay on topic and not accomplish that.
We always try. We can only try. Let's see how it goes.
Exactly.
So Sharon, tell me, how was PTPA born? What inspired you to create this? Was it frustration? Was there a need? Was it need for clarity? Tell me.
All of the above. A, B, C, and D. So I was a new mom and I had invented a baby product and I was trying to get it into stores and it was painstaking. I was literally driving around as a new mom with a new baby, going store to store to store. And I tried to find a way to get more brand awareness for this new product. So I found an awards company online and they promised to help me promote the product, get it into stores, get it into online retailers. And I spent thousands and thousands of dollars on this program, and they promised they were going to give me all kinds of feedback from consumers. And basically, it was an infant towel, and basically the feedback was loved the colors, super soft. And that was it. So for thousands of dollars, and then basically it was a listing on their site, and they did nothing else. If I wanted like a link to my website, it cost money. Everything just cost money. So I thought to myself, okay. If you want an entrepreneur to come up with a better business idea, then try screwing them. So that was essentially what happened. I just thought, okay, I am not the only person who's in this situation. I'm not the only startup who is looking for a way to get out there, build awareness of their program. So I kind of took the idea behind what they had and built it into something that I felt consumers could really rely on. And I think a big part of it was, as parents, we have an opinion about everything. As moms, we tell it like it is. So the whole notion of, okay, let's put products into the hands of real consumers, real parents, get their honest feedback. And that is the only way a brand can actually earn our seal of approval. That's authenticity. That builds trust. And that gets a great conversation started.
So you've said before that trust is the most valuable currency today, especially for brands. So what does trust mean to you in a world where skepticism and cynicism, honestly, is at an all-time high?
This world? I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm kidding. And I tell this to all of the brands that we consult with. Consumers want to buy from organizations that they trust. They want to buy from people that they know their story. They know they're legitimate. They know that they stand for the same values. That's become incredibly important these days. And that's ultimately how you build trust. So it used to be back in the olden days, which is when I was younger, you go into a store and you always bought the same national brand because you trusted that national brand and you weren't going to veer from that brand. But these days, you're walking into a store, you're going online. There are all of these challenger brands. There's private label brands. There are so many options. So what does a brand do to stand out and differentiate themselves? Ultimately, they need to build a connection with the consumer. It's no longer good enough to be that national brand that your mom used to buy. You need to really resonate and establish trust with today's consumer.
Yeah. And that's the other thing, right? Now, since everyone is an influencer and everybody has an opinion and everybody has a pen and a keyboard,
Yeah.
there's so many fake reviews and paid influencers everywhere. How do you keep afloat? How do you keep the authenticity in the heart of what you do?
Yeah. I mean, I think the way we get around that and the way we talk to brands is we express to them that this having the seal of approval, it's a tool that allows consumers to bypass reading all of those endless reviews where, like you said, you are literally sifting through thousands of reviews and you're sorting them in a way that you think makes sense for you. And you're trying to find the negative ones and you're looking at the positive ones and you're trying to figure out, is this one fake? Is this AI written? Is this, part of a giveaway? Like there are so many different ways that e-reviews are being manipulated today that it is impossible to make an easy decision. And then you think you've made a great decision and you order something, and thank God you can return everything these days because you order it based on all of these reviews or an influencer post and you're like, what? Like, no, this product didn't do any of the things that it promised. And it's not at all the quality they promised. So that's what our seal of approval is. That's the ultimate weight that our seal of approval carries. It means other families, other consumers, other moms or dads have used these products themselves and have vetted it, have confirmed that it does what it says, have confirmed that it's good value for the dollar, all of those important things, and have given it their seal of approval.
And if you had to guess, what impact or what kind of impact do you think PTPA has had on families? Not just how they buy, but how they feel empowered as parent with confidence. I mean, when you're a new parent or you're a parent, no idea what you're doing. Like, that sounds great. I'll never forget when I ended up buying a baby bum wipe warmer. I was about to pay for it. I was like, what are you doing to yourself? Return that. But I think the hormones block your brain a bit.
Absolutely. While I can't give you firm stats, I can tell you the impact as a result of the emails we get for consumers. So moms love that we're giving them a voice. They get to share their opinion on products. They get to be honest. And that feedback goes back to a manufacturer. So they love that PTPA is kind of like we're their voice back to the brands. You hate something, you love something, it comes through us, it goes straight to the brands. And those brands are actually reading the market research that we are collecting for them from all of these consumers. So number one, parents love having a voice. Number two, they love having a resource that allows them to quickly and easily find products that are, that fit within their families without having to do all of that endless research. Number three, we have given away millions and millions of dollars worth of free product to consumers across North America. And so we know we're having an impact there. And the goal behind that was very much a pay it forward motto. My hope was that, okay, you're going to receive a free product and all you have to do is give some feedback on it. And when I say free product, it could be something as simple as a diaper. It could be something as grandiose as a full infant nursery. We have given away nursery after nursery, strollers, you name it, we've given them away. So we hope that by people receiving something great at no cost to them, they'll consider doing that for somebody else. So trying to generate this whole pay it forward momentum. And then from the brand perspective, we know the seal of approval has a lot of value, has a lot of impact because we have brands that have been working with us now for over 15 years. We actually have a brand who has been working with us for close to 18 years. They were one of our first clients and they're still working with us, which to me is a great testament to the value they see in that seal of approval.
And that goes to the point we were talking about earlier. Building something based on trust takes time and effort. And even in my industry too, right? You see the young advisors that go out and they're eager beaver and everybody's no. I'm like, don't despair. People don't know who you are other than your grandma believing you and loving you a lot. You need to establish a name and learn and get your stripes and really go through the mud and build actually your actual roads. So you do take off a lot of that noise for people that don't have time.
Yeah, but I mean, back to what you were saying about your advisors, it's also, we live in a society where everything has to be instantaneous. And you and I know as business owners, nothing is instantaneous. You can have a business for, we've been in business for almost 18 years, and I still consider us a startup because it is this constant roller coaster. It goes up, it goes down. Oh, tariffs? What are those? Are those impacting our lives? Absolutely. So there's always some new roller coaster, COVID, whatever it is. So people have to recognize that patience is an absolute requirement as it relates to being in business, whether you are an advisor, whether you're a manufacturer, whatever you are.
And that reminds me, I literally just got off a call with the Canadian press, and they were talking about how do you recession-proof your portfolio or your investments? And the answer is, it's not magic. It's patience. It's discipline. It's time. Like if you want to be rich overnight, it's not going to be legal.
I love that.
Well, it's a high risk. So you need to figure out what portion of your overall portfolio you can risk, because you can lose it all. Are you ready for that?
Yeah.
But it's trust. And it's really, at the end of the day, I find people need to trust, verify, but learn and really feel whether that feels good for them. And that's in my world. But if you're cutting the clutter and that they trust you, because at the end of the day, you're the filter, right? PTPA is a filter. They know they can trust you. And it's taken you 18 years to tell people, hey, you can trust me because all these people trust me too.
Yeah. 100%.
So how do you think today's brands or even individuals understand the difference between earning trust and expecting trust?
So I think all brands have to earn it these days, and they have to work a lot harder at it. So, to the example I gave earlier about, when our moms used to shop for national brands, that trust was implied. It didn't have to be earned. The product worked. It did what it said it was going to do, and that's all they cared about. Yeah. This generation of the primary consumer wants to know so much more than that. And that's why the trust has to be earned. They want to know the values. They want to know how the product has been produced. They want to know, there's so much they want to know. But most importantly, they want to know that the company they're buying from has a similar value system to them. So it's no longer enough to say that your product does what it says it's going to do, because, everybody's product now does what it says it's going to do. You now need to differentiate yourself with your story. You now need to align on an emotional level with consumers, which is what, Dove tried to do for many years very successfully, right? By showing women of all shapes, colors, sizes, whatever it is, aligning with a real woman to build that trust, right? Women trust Dove now because they've built this emotional connection with us. Like, there are some Dove commercials out there, and like, I won't even skip them because they'll leave me crying. Like, they're just so, they really resonate. So it has to be earned. It's no longer implied.
And with social media attacking you every 2 seconds, like if you're on Instagram and you see stuff, it just goes fast, yep. and then you're like, hang on, this product I saw on someone else's website, which one is it?
Yeah.
So it's
and Instagram is a really hard one because there's a lot of, and I spend a lot of time talking to my mom about this, because she'll say something like, oh, I saw it on the Facebook. Sharon, you need to buy it. It was on the Facebook. And I'm like, okay, Mom, just because it's on Facebook doesn't mean it's real. That's where she sees a lot of her news. So I have to explain to her clickbait and phishing scams and all of these things. So social media makes it that much harder to actually be able to trust that who you're buying from is legitimate, that what you're getting is legitimate. Social media makes it really tough.
But again, you cut the noise.
That's our goal. That is our goal, is to help brands differentiate themselves from the competition, help them give an instant symbol of trust that allows consumers to make quick decisions. Like, we're busy these days, right? And we hardly have time to sit down and, eat lunch. To have to sit and read reviews, my God, I just want to be able to look at this seal, know, oh, okay, other people who are in a similar life stage as me tested this, they loved it. It's worth giving it a try.
Do you ever turn brands down?
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
Turn brands down a lot. So there's a couple of things. We turn them down and brands lose. So I'll tell you the difference. When brands want to work with us, they can't just go to our site and sign up and pay and become clients. They actually have to have a meeting with someone on our team first, because number one, in advance of that, we want to do some research on the product. We want to make sure it's a product that is worthy of the community that we're going to be introducing it to. So we have hundreds of thousands of families in our community. We don't want to be putting in front of them products that are really lousy and poorly made. So number one, they have to have a conversation with someone on our team. Then we will all discuss all of the products before we accept any submission. Not every product earns our seal. So brands who do not earn that seal, and that is based on the consumer feedback we get, they actually get a 70% refund of their fees, and they get all of the market research from consumers. So the goal is, this is not pay for play. This is not a popularity contest. This is not an editorial pick. This is legitimate product testing. And if your product didn't do well, here is some market research directly from your target consumer to help you improve your product, make it better, and hopefully sell more of it.
Wow. And how do people react when they get the no, we're not working with you? They don't like it, or do they appreciate? I mean, to me, I would appreciate it to know I'm not investing further in something that doesn't fly.
Yeah. So the no or the you've lost, because there's for both of those, there's different reactions. So startup entrepreneurs, we put our blood, sweat, and tears into developing anything that we develop. So if somebody has negative feedback, we take that to heart, right? All entrepreneurs do. So I would say if we say no to a product, or a product hasn't earned the certification, a smaller brand is going to take that a lot harder, because number one, going through our program for all the market research, it's an investment of time, it's an investment of money, which is why we give that refund. But nevertheless, it's an investment. They've usually put so much effort into it, and their friends and family have given them really positive reinforcement. But now it's real world feedback, right? It's people who don't really care if they're going to hurt your feelings. It's everyday consumers who, you're putting the product into their hands, and you're saying, okay, answer these 12 questions about this product so that the brand knows if it's a good product, PTPA knows if it's worthy of the seal. And when feedback comes in that is not what they expected, then that's a tougher pill to swallow. The bigger brands, interestingly enough, they typically are like, oh, okay, now you've really validated your program for me. We had one client who, huge brand. Everybody owns one of their products in their home, or multiple products. So they had submitted a whole lineup of products. One of them lost. And I was dreading the call to the brand, because I was just like, I don't want to tell you. Anyhow, we got on the call, and I let her know that this one particular product had not earned the seal, and I gave her all the feedback, and she sat silently, and I'm really anxious on this call. And then there was like this awkward pause. And she goes, so we just won for this product 4 other awards. The product was being tested by 4 other organizations at the same time as you, and we earned all 4. So I'm staying quiet. And she goes, you just proved the legitimacy of your program to me, because our R&D team has already found all of the issues that your consumers highlighted. And in fact, there were some really dangerous issues. So we've actually already made plans to pull this product off the market until we can fix these issues. But in the meantime, we got this award from this company and this award from this other company, where all of these companies just needed one sample. We had an award within a week. And now we understand why parent tested, parent approved is completely and vastly different than any other awards program out there.
Yeah, and that felt good, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's the hard part of this business, is that anyone and everyone can launch an award tomorrow. You can launch an award tomorrow, but the legitimacy behind it, that's where you really have to educate consumers so that they understand what these symbols on packages or on websites mean. Because anyone, now Canada is on a big made in Canada kick in all the stores. Well, I was in a store the other day and it said assembled in Canada. And my daughter and I looked at each other and we're like, really? That is just meant to trick you into thinking this is actually made in Canada, assembled in Canada, like that, so there's all these symbols and it's really hard to know who to trust. And that's why we've spent almost 18 years, on television talking about the brand and the seal and what it means. And that's why we have these hundreds of thousands of moms in our community who are these active testers for us. And the seal is recognized by millions of consumers out there because we have just focused on, let's make this one of the most trusted seals of approval in the marketplace.
So what would you say to someone who's trying to build a brand or a life rooted in values like trust or transparency or community?
So I would say, make sure you understand what is the ethos of your company, and make sure that comes across in anything and everything that you do. From the language that you use, to the website that you build, to the product that you're making, to the packaging that you're putting that product into, that, and make sure your team understands that ethos. That is incredibly important because that's where it all starts. And then that's where it disseminates from, right? So that's how you're going to ultimately establish trust and build relationships with consumers.
And that goes, and consistency, right? Like, if you really believe it, keep going at it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like Patagonia is famous for that. They have a brand ethos. They are constantly shouting it from the rooftops. Their employees recognize it. Their employees are valued. They feel valued. The people who buy their products understand the story behind the company. That's what you need to do. You need to continually be pushing your story out there as long as it's authentic and legitimate. Because if it's not, boy, oh boy, get ready for cancel culture. And live whatever your truth is. Live whatever you set out to accomplish.
Yeah, good or bad would be yourself. And it's interesting because even I went through a branding exercise many years ago.
I remember when you went through that branding exercise.
Remember?
Yeah.
What do you do? Well, I do a lot. It's not an answer. I do this and I do this. And then it turned out to be that, the real reason was because when I was little, and I used to get angry when people didn't follow through with the recommendations. And I realized that everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own moments. And my point was, like, people need to get their house in order. It's not that hard to plan. It's not that hard to organize things if you want to do it. Right.
Yeah.
And it was funny and humbling to realize that it went back to the very, very basics. And around at the same time, more or less the same time, is when Simon Sinek wrote The Infinite Game, and Ron, what's Ron's?
Ron Tide.
Think, Do, Say, or
it's at the top of my book pile there.
Yeah.
Do, Say, Ron Tide.
Yeah, and he's a great speaker too. So
yeah,
I think those books certainly shaped who we are as business people. Yeah, and that's how we met, right? I mean, in that community.
That's exactly it. Yeah.
So how do you envision PTPA going forward? If you had a magic wand, if you had a crystal ball?
I think PTPA, so I think the seal of approval, or we're actually relaunching it as a, we're starting to call it a certification now, because I think that's more demonstrative of what it is. So I think that is always going to be our leading offering. But with this vast community that we've built, a lot of brands are leveraging that community for market research. And I'll tell you what I love about that. It gives them the opportunity to co-create with consumers. So, leveraging our community to ask them questions. We're actually helping a brand right now. It's an air related product, and they're recreating their entire product. So we sent out a survey about what features were important, what pricing was relevant to consumers, what was the most important thing in this type of product. And it was a really involved survey that gave really rich data back to the manufacturer. And then as the manufacturer goes along their process, we're going to continually go back to these consumers to make sure this product is actually what they hope. So I think the market research side of our business has really grown because brands are recognizing that they need the feedback from consumers if they want to make a product that is something that consumers will buy. A lot of our big clients, they say to us, like, we come up with an idea, we test it internally, our R&D team makes sure it works, but we don't actually know what consumers are going to think because it's in this silo. So now they're leveraging our community to go out there and go, okay, well, we think this is a really great idea and these features are really fabulous. What do you actually think? And that is helping shape how they change products. So that to me is really, really exciting.
I used to work with a coach, and he said the best way to test an idea is with the people who write the check.
Yep. Yeah. That's because ultimately that's where you're going to get the most honesty, right? Like that's why I was saying earlier with startup entrepreneurs, when I was when I designed this baby product, I was giving it out to my friends and I was showing it to my family. I'm not going to want to hurt my feelings, but put it out there to the general community. If anybody's on social, the general community has an opinion and they are not afraid to share it. So that is the best way to deem whether a product is going to stand the test of time and will ultimately be able to succeed in the marketplace.
The other thing I see that you do for your clients is you'll bring them feedback based on a universe that will be tested, right? And you already have the people that will come back with honest feedback because they're used to that, right? And it's a large universe.
Yeah.
As opposed to them, let's say they convince the purchaser of the store, the big store, and all those things go on the shelf and they produce hundreds of thousands of that thing.
Yeah.
And then those products are returned because they didn't sell.
Yep.
What are you going to do with 3,000 knickknacks?
Yeah.
Or whatever they are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's why I think co-creating is really, really important. I know Lego did a lot of campaigns where they co-created because they have such an engaged community of fans. Co-creation, or at least the test marketing, outside of your small little friends and family circle is incredibly important because let's face it, there's millions and millions. There are far too many products in the marketplace today, right? And to launch a new product, number one, you really need something about it that's going to be a game changer, or the features have to be better than the competition. Then you need to be able to sell it at a price that's going to be competitive. There's so many different things. Like while it is so much easier to sell a product these days, it is so much harder to sell a product these days, right? So yes, you can sell it on Amazon, but then you have to accept returns. Same with Walmart, same with Target. So it's easier to sell it, but it's also now you are one in a sea of thousands of similar products. So really figuring out what's your competitive advantage with that product. What are you going to offer the consumer that somebody else isn't already offering them? How are you going to price it in a way that ultimately is going to be competitive? Because I have a feeling that, the next few years are going to be a bit of a rough ride for people. So you want to make sure that you are not, designing something that is luxury quality that's only going to appeal to a small percentage of the population. There's so many more things you need to take into account now. Why not ask all of those questions in advance before you actually go to production and make those 3,000 cogs and, figure out, okay, that didn't work. Now I have to start from scratch.
And is there an age range of products that you test, like 0 to 5, about 0 to 18, or
yeah, we do anything and everything pretty much that the family touches. So it could be like we're testing a really, really innovative water bottle. Very innovative. I can't say what innovative about it, but it's very innovative. We test air fryers, coffee makers, we test diapers, we test wipes, we've even tested cars. So our consumers get to keep whatever we send them, except for the cars. So we tested for General Motors, a series of cars for them, and consumers had the opportunity they had this mini lease for 1 month where they got to actually drive these cars. So we did that for GM, we did that for Infiniti, and then we got all this amazing feedback from consumers afterwards. So anything and everything that the family touches that, makes sense. Dyson, I'm looking around my office because I have 2 Dysons in here, parent tested, parent approved. Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
If anything comes across your eyesight that does laundry, like folds and puts away,
wouldn't that be nice? I think I saw something about a machine that folds.
Really? Okay.
I saw something, not at PTPA. I feel like I saw something. And whoever that person is that is going to invent that product, if it does not already exist, oh my goodness, no.
I have, some people have a love-hate relationship. No, mine is ultimate wrath. Yeah. We just spice each other.
I have no problem with getting it into the machine and then transferring it to the dryer. It's the pulling it out of the dryer and actually folding it part that is,
And I can go as far as that.
Yeah.
But like the big pieces.
Yeah.
But when we start talking about socks, you lost me. You lost me.
So my husband and I played pickleball like 5 times a week. So laundry needs to happen much more often. And oh my God, it's like the bane of my existence. It's like, I really love pickleball. I really, really hate laundry. Yeah. They need to make disposable clothes. That's it. That would really not help our landfill situation. So I take that idea back.
Yeah, no, and it's time, right? Time that you don't have.
Yeah.
But how are you going to take time off? How are you going to enjoy yourself?
We are headed to Spain shortly for a couple of weeks. So that is going to be lovely. Really looking forward to some quality time with my husband and disconnecting from my device. So that should be fun.
Nice. Sharon, thank you. Thank you so much for showing us how trust isn't just a business strategy. It's a personal value that shapes how we show up in the world. Whether you're a parent, a consumer, or an entrepreneur, trying to carve your own path, your story is a reminder that clarity, honesty, and service are what truly stand the test of time. To everyone listening, if you're thinking about the next step in your life or your business, ask yourself this: am I building something that earns trust? Am I living in a way that reflects my values, what matters most? That's what getting your house in order is really about. Until next time, and take care of yourself, trust your gut, and stay true to what matters.